July the 13th, 2025. Guys, you're looking at satellite images from today. I actually started it last night, went back, and it goes up to the current images now at 55 p.m. Central Time here in central Mississippi. Got a lot of things going on in this map. You'll notice in the center, some Canadian wildfire smoke is filtered in through this area. Also, the fires at the Grand Canyon, there's actually two, is one of the largest that we have in the U.S. right now. It's one of the larger ones that I've ever seen in that area from the satellite images. There's also a couple of fires breaking out in Northern California. But again, this one is large. We're going to take a look at it. But that's not why I'm coming here. What we got is the tropics are heating up big time. That's in the Atlantic and in the Gulf of America. We still have that chance of tropical development right here between, again, Louisiana and the Florida Panhandle. 20% chance the last time I checked, not too long ago. And what we're seeing, guys, is we just got hit by a torrential downpour. We've been getting them almost every day, and they've been very intense. Now, this one seemed to have more moisture involved with it, and if we'd have been near a low-lying area, I'd have been pretty concerned about it, and so should you guys, because what we're looking at is an immense amount of moisture being pulled in to the southern states off the Gulf itself. Check this out. We're going to look at it a little closer. The storms in Texas, they're finally starting to move a little more to the northeast, guys, and there was a center of rotation hidden under a lot of this during the time of this last few days. You can see it here as the clouds start to dissipate somewhat, but as it moves to the north and northeast, you're seeing this band in the heat of the day really start to explode here. The same thing happened to us here, and we're seeing that move across the southeast now. All of it's being fed, and when we look at it closely, you'll see what I'm talking about, by this tropical moisture. And so we're getting tropical downpours. Now, looking at the southeast, and here's the explosion in Texas going up into Oklahoma, Arkansas. You're about to get a taste of it, probably northern Louisiana. But watch as, again, we're going through the entire day, and these are the current images stopping right there, and there's a wall of clouds. Notice all the moisture as it builds up through the day, just a constant inflow. Look how the heat of the day is exciting that moisture content all through the lower atmosphere. Look at this again. Not too bad, but look at that, exploding. What is this saying to us? It's saying there's going to be some damaging floods building up. And what happens if this tropical system that's starting to do exactly what they said, build in this area, move across the northern sections of the Gulf, if that sets out there, you think this is moisture feed right now that's storing up all this or colliding into this and causing these storms? This is going to be very detrimental, and it's going to be on top of ground that's already saturated. Rivers and streams and lakes and dams and rivers, all of that's going to be saturated, and we're about to get a very good taste of what flooding looks like. Texas, I hope this does not include the areas around Kerr County and that all through there. That was in the Guadalupe River. That was unbelievable. You haven't recovered. You won't ever recover from the lives that you lost. But don't let your guard down now. I don't think you will. You're kind of like in shock. We've all been through it with hurricanes and tornadoes and all of that. But from there in Texas, all the way through into the Carolinas, Tennessee, all of this area we're looking at is starting to explode in the heat of the day. Now, again, we're almost 6 p.m. here. It'd be 7 p.m. on the East Coast, so it's starting to cool down some, and we went from 114 to the 70s after this torrential tropical rain came in today. Again, heavy thunder, heavy lightning, but the rain was, I guess, the worst part of it all, and it was very windy. But that, again, if we had not be on this hill, we would have been in trouble. We had a lot of runoff. But again, it's going to have to take a lot to get to us here as far as water building up. We were very fortunate in that. But again, we got this line of storms here, the line that's coming up on the Mississippi River down in Louisiana. These are dissipating somewhat, notice, and there's that rotation I was talking about right in there. But it's moving this way to the north or northeast. Now, again, Florida, you're getting it on both sides. It starts to dissipate, and then the heat of the day, look at what's happening right there. Alligator, Alcatraz, you guys are probably getting some pretty good rain. But all of this is, again, tropical moving towards the Gulf itself. Look out into the Atlantic. Same thing happening here. You got a system up here that got a little rotation to it, but the moisture is being pumped in. Look across this area, all the way across Florida, and right to where. If it travels the way it is looking to me, notice how everything's coming in around Louisiana, this part of the rotation. Now that's clockwise. Tropical systems are counterclockwise, so just like this group of clouds, the edge of it is. But that's what they're expecting. Movement here, the heat of the Gulf is very warm, and the heat of the atmosphere is unbelievable when you add sunlight to this humidity. We are at 73 degrees, 99% humidity. Heat index is 67. That's the beauty of this, the silver lining. We're not being scorched right now with 114-degree temps like we were over an hour ago. But all of this built up very quickly. The moisture just exploded, and the line of storm started building. Let's look at it in the infrared just a moment. Now, these images also started last night. You can see where it was clear as the loop starts right here. Everything's clear overnight. Sun hasn't hit everything. Texas, you're still active down around the bad region. But as soon as the sun comes up, we got, 1, 2, 3, 4 lines across the southeast right now. And then everything pulling back into across Florida. Look at that. And so it's one big circle of moisture. I'm afraid we have flash flood warnings and watches out through Texas. Now, you've got a warning also in the Florida Panhandle right now. One of those sections of rain that you're seeing right here start to pop up right there, guys. You've got a flash flood warning now. But I'm afraid we're going to have some unprecedented flooding, not just because of this, but when you put on top of it a tropical system forming out there. It doesn't have to become a big hurricane, just a water pump. And there's going to be trouble. So prepare for it now. If you're in low-lying areas, prepare for it. If you're South Louisiana especially, or anywhere where you're very close to the water, be prepared for flooding now. Now, talking about exploding, look at what happened just on the northern rim of the Grand Canyon today, guys. There's 2 fires. They're still the one pumping closest to the rim, but the one that's closer to the Utah border, right there. Look at this. Wow. And you got smoke coming from this direction. You got 2 fires in Northern California. But again, that's very powerful. And you're looking at the forested area. That's where it's burning at. Notice the green in there. And it's beautiful country. It's high country. Not that mountainous, except when you get to the Grand Canyon. And then it's just a deep hole right there. But this is getting kind of out of hand. Not much moisture for them to hope for here in this situation at all. Even these clouds that you see expanding here are not very full of moisture. I'll click it over to infrared just to give you an idea of what you're dealing with in this area. You'll see some, but nothing getting into the deep reds or even very much into the yellows. A little more down in the bottom right-hand corner, but up here is where you need the moisture. Get some help in there. Not sure how it's going on the ground there. If you folks are in that area, let us know. But I can tell from this satellite image that we're looking at live that it's not good. Again, we're watching it, guys. You watch it. It's a heads up. Be safe. Prepare for flooding. I don't care what the other weather people tell you. Be safe.